Why is our 269 October All Access special one of our best deals ever? Let us count the ways. 5 college football Saturdays, 5 NFL Sundays, full month of MLB playoffs, NHL starts October 12th, NBA season starts October 19th, plus any other sport your favorite handicap releases, all for under $9 a day. As an added bonus, sign up early and get the rest of September included for free.
Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today. It is Monday, September 27th. It's Lawrence Presman right here. That guy, Teddy Covers, annoyed the absolute shit out of me yesterday. And we have a jam-packed show. Marco D'Angelo right off the top. He's looking at tonight's Monday Night Football game, the Pitt, Georgia Tech game, and Seattle at San Fran. And then Bryan Leonard, Michigan, Wisconsin, Marshall, MTS, and he too, because we're so damn organized here, we'll be discussing the Seattle-San Fran game. Teddy's big game breakdown, Seattle and San Fran, and I will be focusing a deep, deep dive into the Seattle-San Fran game in my presidential address. Teddy, I have a bunch to say, but how are you, brother? How was your weekend? I know all of this shit because you and I were incessantly texting each other yesterday.
Of course, my big game breakdown will be on the Seattle Mariners against the Oakland A's tonight. Looking to give something actionable for this evening. Of course, Marco's going to break down the Monday Night Football game as well. So we've got a couple of actionable stuff for this evening, as well as looking ahead to the week in NFL and college football action. I had a good weekend. I have no complaints. I split out on Saturday. I did lose my 5% on Saturday. Yesterday was a good day, 3-1 across sports. And it's been a good week, 75% across sports over the last week, counting every play, every day. Won again in the NFL, won the 5% in the NFL on the Chargers. So I got no complaints on a Monday morning. What about you, Prez?
I had a great weekend too, dude. One was Syracuse on Friday night to start it off. Went 2-1 on Saturday in college football. Won my 5% play. I was on the under in the Mississippi State game, Teddy, and I don't know if of course you watch that game. You watch every game, but whatever. That game almost went over for a Prez heart attack, and but I did cash my 5% on that and 2-1. Yesterday, I went 3-2 for my clients, but I did lose my 5%. But I got to stop and say this, bro. There are very few moments, very few days in NHL betting or very few weeks in college or NFL betting where you just sit back and you're like, I had a winning week, 4-2, because I had the under on Thursday night. And it was a wasted, missed week. Dude, I sit down and I do the NFL presidential address. So I do every side and every total on every game. And I sat down on last Sunday night and I wrote my short list, which had 11 games on it. I released 4 of them. I went 2-2 because it didn't include my teaser. And the others were 7-0. I went 4-1 in the Circa. Both games I gave out on Friday on the NFL, on the daily presidential address, both won. The game I gave out on Thursday won. You don't have days like yesterday. And the thing about it is I bet them all. I mean, I had a monster betting day. But I'm not releasing 14 plays to my clients. I just won't do it. I pick the top plays of the week for me. And a 3-2 day, 4-2 week. I'm happy with it, but missed opportunity. What about you, Teddy?
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Let's get into some bad beats. Bad bets.
Take it away.
And bad for the books. A little recap of what just happened over the past weekend. And boy, there were some doozies for bad beats, man. Bad beats is long today. Be ready. All right. Start on Saturday. How about the Wisconsin Notre Dame under? All right. Totals bet down from 47.5 to 43.5, 44. It's 10-10 into the fourth quarter. It's still 24-13 with less than 3 minutes left. And then an interception equals a field goal, interception return for a touchdown, and another interception return for the touchdown just for the icing on the cake. 10-10 into the fourth, 41-13 final. Under teasers don't even cash. Don't tease college football. That was a tough beat. How about this under? Clemson, NC State, total of 47.5. There's no offense for either team all game. And then the NC State kicker misses not one, not two, 3 field goals, any one of which would have won in regulation, including the game winner from inside 40 yards. First overtime, now the offenses are clicking. Touchdown, touchdown. Second overtime, another TD. Voila, they're at 48. Goes over 47.5. Excruciating for under bettors. How about this one on Saturday? 2 basketball schools playing football. Kansas plus 16.5 at Duke. The Jayhawks, 16.5 point dogs lead the game at halftime. What happens in the second half? Kansas turns it over deep in their own territory. Kansas misses the 2-point conversion. Kansas gives up one last touchdown drive late in the fourth, and Kansas loses by 19 plus 16.5. No good. Tulsa, minus 14 against Arkansas State. The Hurricanes took a knee at the 1-yard line, up 7. Oh, bad beat, no push, just like Marshall App State on Thursday night when the runner went down instead of scoring the touchdown for a 1-point win. For Tulsa, it was only a 7-point win. How about Buffalo, minus 13 at Old Dominion? They're up 35-7 at halftime. Final score, 35-34. But Buffalo didn't show for the second half. Tough beat. You had them. Indiana up 9 at Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers face a 4th and long from inside their own 30. And they connect, and they march down the field, and they punch in the touchdown and lose by only 2. Tough if you had Indiana, although I'm not sure the Hoosiers were the right side is there. Yesterday, what about the Jags-Cardinals total? 51.5. Josh Lambo, one of the best kickers in the NFL. Well, he used to be. He missed not 1, but 2 extra points. Game lands 50. If Lambo hits the extra points, it goes over. He missed. Stays under. Chargers-Chiefs total is 55. LA with the game-winning touchdown. Ballsy call to go for it on 4th down for the win. And then they mix the extra point. Lands 54. And of course, Prez, we had to talk about the Raiders and the Dolphins yesterday. The Raiders have a 90-yard pick, no, 85-yard pick six. And then a second early turnover, 14-0 deficit. They completely dominate the game. They're leading by 8 after the missed extra point, which was a game changer. The Dolphins are in 4th and 8 after a false start. They convert, then a pass interference in the end zone. The Raiders stuff them 3 times from 1st and goal at the 1 and 4th down. That play lasted an hour on 4th down. With Brissett running around in the backfield, he finally scrambled into the end zone. The Raiders, minus 3.5, no good in overtime. Tough beat if you had Vegas. When it comes to bad bets, the wise guys bet Florida State against Louisville on Saturday. I haven't learned yet. They bet Wisconsin against Notre Dame. Nope, that was wrong too. Kent State at Maryland was a wise guy special. The Terps won by 3 touchdowns. That wasn't pretty. Loxley was pissed going to the locker room at halftime, and they came out and dominated the third quarter. North Carolina money all week at Georgia Tech. They closed minus 14.5, minus 15. They got blown out in that game, lost by 3 touchdowns on the road. Oklahoma money too, minus 16 up to minus 17.5 against West Virginia. They were lucky to win the game. Can't cover 17.5 when you only score 16. And of course, on Sunday, bad bets. Man, they steamed up the Pats Saints total before kickoff. 42.5 up to 43.5. Even 44 is out there. Lands 41. In fact, anyone who was betting NFL overs in the early games had a real rough time. 9-1 to the over the first 10 games of the weekend, though we did see some overs last night. Bad for the books. All Georgia money on Saturday. They were open as low as minus 31 at the open. Closed as high as minus 37 at the close. 62-0 against Vandy. Stanford, UCLA over money at 58.5. Under money at 60. And it lands 59 right in the middle. That's bad for the books. Alabama, 42-7 in the first half. They covered. 63-14 final. They covered. 2 kick return touchdowns, 1 defensive touchdown, and the backups on the final TD drive with less than 3 minutes to play. Nick Saban knows the point spread. Ohio State knew the point spread too. They also covered on a touchdown with less than 3 minutes left in a game where they were already up by 7 touchdowns. They too had a defensive score. Those are both bad for the books. How about anyone in a survivor pool yesterday that didn't have Baltimore? And the Ravens convert on 4th and 19, then hit the longest field goal in NFL history. Baltimore teasers get paid. And of course, the survivor people survive. That was bad for the books with the teasers. In fact, basically every pro teaser play won yesterday. All the short dogs got teased up. All the favorites of more than a touchdown got teased down. Arizona, Minnesota, Baltimore, Buffalo, New Orleans, Atlanta, Cleveland. There were 7 plays for basic teaser strategy. All 7 of them won. The wise guys had a field day, a feast, beating up on the betting markets when it came to the positive expectation teasers. That was really bad for the house. Arizona, 21 unanswered in the 4th. I mean, the Sharps nor the Squares were betting the Jags, but still, that was bad for the books. 19-10 Jags lead turns into a 31-19 final. Arizona gets the money. Every sharp dollar in Cincinnati-Pittsburgh was a Cincinnati bet. Was all you can eat on the Bengals. They were a right side winner. And, of course, last but not least, the Sunday night game. It's 10-0 with a minute left in the first half, and it still goes over. Nothing but over steam. The pros, the Joes, everybody bet the over last night. Everybody cashed the over last night. Every Monday night and Sunday night game since the season started has gone over the total. That, not real good for the books. Whew! There you have it, Prez. Bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books. I'm out of breath. Back to you, my friend.
Teddy, great stuff. So my summary, my takeaway from that, if you will, you were on the over in the Green Bay game last night and won it. Marco was on Miami with a 5% play and won it. And Prez was on the Raiders and lost it. That was my takeaway. Okay.
That's what happened.
Marco D'Angelo, an incredible piece of handicapping on the Miami Dolphins yesterday. But let me get this out of the way. Let me just say this for everybody. When looking to buy a handicapper, you need them to have 2 qualities. 1, the ability to pick winners. 2, the ability to get a lot of luck when they failed on the first part. Marco covers both beautifully. Welcome to WagerTalk Today, my friend.
Hey, guys, with that beautiful rundown that Teddy did, he forgot to say, though, in the Raider game, yes, they had a pick 6 in that game. Yes, they had a 14-0 lead.
Stop.
But that whole game changed on one play. And that's something, there's actually a lesson there for in-game wagering. That whole game changed on the punt that was downed at the 1-yard line.
Yep.
And then turned into a safety. That is the type of things that you do look for when you're looking at in-game wagering and when to jump in and off of teams. And they were down 14-0 at that point, but that was the momentum changer, and you could have got the Raiders at a very nice price. I don't know what it was exactly when it was 14-0. Maybe Teddy does, but that was the time with that one play that the buy sign went on the Raiders in that game. That's
maybe
the takeaway for you.
Maybe go ahead, Teddy.
It wasn't as high as I thought it was going to be for the Raiders. They weren't like a 5-1 dog or anything. It was still early enough in the game.
Anyway, okay. Glad we got the Raider Miami game out of the way, and congratulations on your amazing win. I thought they might even score a TD in overtime there, man. They had the long bomb throw, a couple of steps, and he's gone. And then the run through the middle, one more juke, and he's gone. But alas, Marco cashes, and great run, dude. 7-1 on your 5% plays since mid-July. Congratulations. With that said, let's go. Philadelphia playing Dallas tonight. As Teddy said, every game Monday and Sunday nights have gone over the total. Is 51.5. The line is barely budging, still minus 3.5. Although there is a 3 on the board, Marco. So maybe there's money coming in on Philly. How you handicapping this game?
Well, guys, to be honest with you, usually when I would look at a game like this, I would look at the dog because I just don't like laying points with a bad defense. And there's no question about it. The Dallas Cowboys have a bad defense. But in this instance, I'm going to make an exception. And the reason being is I'm not sold on this Philadelphia offense. Yeah, Jalen Hurts, has moved the team, but he's moving them as much with his legs as he is with his arm. And the problem with that is, one, you're going to get your quarterback hurt doing that on a regular basis. And 2, if you fall behind by 2 scores, which is a definite possibility, the way the Dallas offense can score, it takes that running game out of the equation. And I'm going to go ahead and go with Dallas. It's their home opener. They opened the season with their first 2 games on the road. It's a Monday night game. Now, I know history has said, unless you're, open the season 0-2 and you're at home is an 0-2 underdog, teams that were on the road for the first 2 and come home have not been a profitable play. That's a stat that Stat Daddy Ralph Michaels gave out on Bet On It last week. But it is the home opener on Monday Night Football. I think it's a little bit of a different atmosphere, and it is a division game. I'm going to go ahead and look and lay the points with Dallas. This offense right now is one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL. They've got so many weapons. Dak Prescott has shown no signs of, the injury lingering on into this season. He's done everything asked of him. I think they put up a big number tonight against this Philadelphia defense. I like Dallas. I'll go ahead and lay the points with them tonight, and I'm calling it Dallas 30-20. Philly will get some points simply because Dallas defense is not bad. Remember, the Chargers never punted last week in that game, but somehow only had 17 points thanks to the guys with the zebra suits.
So there are money-burning propositions and there are real money-burning propositions. And the Dallas Cowboys, as a favorite, have been burning their backers' money, not just this year, not just last year, but in basically every recent season. My numbers show them 1-7, their last 8 tries laying points with McCarthy. I didn't go back to do a 3-year or a 5-year sample size, but it may not be at 12% for the entirety of that run, but laying points with Dallas has been a long-term negative expectation wager. Why is tonight different?
Oh, again, like I said, it's the difference. Yes, the defense is bad, and that's the whole reason they haven't covered those spreads. And don't forget, last year's number with McCarthy, you had a good portion of that season without Dak Prescott, so that's going to skew those numbers as well, Teddy. But going back last 3 years, I don't have it in front of me, but I can tell you from memory, it wasn't that good either. The Cowboys have never been a good favorite, and that's what happens when you have a team that has a bad defense. I know a game that you were very proud of yesterday, but that's the same case with the Kansas City Chiefs. They were winning games, but not covering games. That was a team that went to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, yet they're now on a 1-12 against the spread streak. Bad defense. I think I saw that stat everywhere last week, Teddy. That one's out of the bag. Okay.
Yeah. But people aren't paying any attention yet.
We don't have enough time to debate that game in that first quarter, that if the Chiefs don't give the ball away 3 times,
and there he goes. Game. Stop debating the game.
Yeah.
You, Marco had Kansas City in one of his teasers, and little bit disappointed. I get it, dude. Don't worry. If it means anything, Miami.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh.
Exactly. Pittsburgh at Georgia Tech, Marco. And I mean, wow, Pittsburgh, look at this offense, 77, 41, 41, 51. That's what they've scored. 44. 41. They lost. That's what they've scored in their last 4 games. Georgia Tech, man. Who is this team? Puts up 8 against Clemson and then plays UNC and puts up a 45 spot. This is going to be an interesting handicap. What do we do in this game?
Well, the big question is does Georgia Tech have a third big game in them in a row? Let's face it. They went to Clemson, they played Clemson in a nail-biter there. Now, I mean, at the time, that looked, a colossal effort. But after what we saw last week with Clemson and NC State, how much do we really have to readjust the power ratings on Clemson for this year? You never want to overreact to one game, but now we've seen this offense struggle in 3 games this year. So Clemson's got some problems. North Carolina, they're a team that can score points, but they can't stop anybody. And Georgia Tech was able to get that running game going and just control the game. 43 runs, 261 yards against North Carolina. Now, this Pitt team, yeah, they give up a lot of points, but they score a ton of points. And it's because of Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's having a great season for Pitt, and he's one of those guys, thanks to the COVID rule change and that with eligibility. He's a fifth-year senior quarterback on this team, and they can score on anybody. And I just question if Georgia Tech is going to be able to trade points with Pitt in this game. And you talk about Pitt, will they be able to stop that running game of Georgia Tech? Well, they face it every single year. And in the last 3 seasons, they've held that Georgia Tech offense to 19, 10, and 20 points last year. They've been able to contain that running game. And again, if Pitt gets up by a couple scores, that running game becomes less effective. I'm going to go ahead and take the Pitt Panthers here. Note that last week, Georgia Tech against North Carolina, one of the benefits were they were +3 in turnovers. If Kenny Pickett has a clean game, they're in trouble here. I got Pitt 34-23. I'll lay the points with the Pitt Panthers.
So I guess I got 2 questions here, because one is that Georgia Tech got their starting quarterback. Sims came back last week. Yates started the game, and then he got set. And all of a sudden, here's Sims, who wasn't expected to be, and he was great. He was great throwing. He was great running. He was as good as anybody on the field in a game against North Carolina. So Georgia Tech now has their starting quarterback back. And this is a Yellow Jackets defense. I watched them twice in a row. They shut down Clemson, and they shut down North Carolina. You know, how much do we trust this Georgia Tech defense right now? Because it's looked real good to me on paper. Or not on the eye. It's passed the eye test each of the last 2 weeks. And they have a better defense than Pitt.
Oh, there's no question. I will give you that. The Pitt defense, they gave up 44 to Western Michigan, and they gave up 34 to Tennessee. Tennessee, granted, they're a lower half team, but they are an SEC team. And, those teams are physical and able to dominate the line of scrimmage. The fact that Pitt's had success against containing Georgia Tech, that's what gives me, the reason for taking them. But don't forget the North Carolina game. They did, hold them in that game to 22 points. But, how much of it was the 3 turnovers, Teddy? You keep shooting yourself in the foot, Carolina. It's,
I watched it. It wasn't the 3 turnovers. There was pressure in the backfield. There were not open receivers. It was a really impressive defensive game plan. It wasn't like, all right, they were just, North Carolina was just sloppy. It was Georgia Tech taking it to a group of receivers that I haven't seen anyone take it to yet.
We'll find out the acid test this week. I think this is clearly the best offense they have faced, and that includes the Clemson, because like I said, I have really adjusted my power ratings on Clemson after what we've seen so far. We gave them the pass in the Georgia game because it was Georgia, but I haven't seen anything that excites me about this Clemson offense so far. And North Carolina, this is also a North Carolina team that was shut down earlier in the season by Virginia Tech, and I don't see Virginia Tech going to be in anybody's top 10 polls at any time soon.
Deep thoughts from Marco D'Angelo. He has seen nothing that has impressed him from the Clemson offense. You can only get that type of info at WagerTalk Today. Anyway, Marco, 7-1 on your 5% play since mid-July. Congratulations. 8-4 in football this past weekend. It's $9 Mondays, everybody. Everybody's play, no matter what, $9 today at WagerTalk. I got a NFL play up for tonight. I got my college football Thursday play going. What do you got, my friend?
So far, I have my NFL 2-team teaser of the week. We cashed out last week using Carolina in Cleveland on the teaser. That's up now. And when I get done with this prestigious show, I'll be looking at baseball and see if we have a baseball play for today as well.
Excellent stuff. Marco D'Angelo joining us. Seattle, San Francisco, Marco. -3 for San Fran. And I'll tell you, man, this is going to be a fun game to watch. This Seattle team, they can't stop the run. Their corners are a bit of a mess. I don't think they're a Super Bowl caliber D. And I don't think San Fran has a Super Bowl caliber offense. So I think this is the third and fourth best team in that division. How are you handicapping this game?
Well, I agree with you on the assumption of the third and fourth best teams in the division, considering there's 4 in the division, and one of them is the Rams.
Dude, if you're gonna lay that Clemson nugget down, I'm gonna lay that piece of unbelievable info at your feet.
Only here on WagerTalk Today, daily, 9 a.m. Pacific. All right, guys, you look at this one of my favorite angles in the NFL, because the NFL is a league, guys, where people watch these games and they draw a conclusion from one game. And I love going against a team that looked good in losing. Now, I will put a disclaimer in there. There was a game that fits this mold that I got shoved at me 2 weeks ago, and that was taking the Chargers against Dallas, because I said Dallas looked so good in losing that Thursday night game. You know, everybody was going to want them as a dog, And, well, we won't, dwell on how the Chargers lost that game to Dallas, but it's going to be the same thing here. People are going to look and see that game last night, see the 49ers did everything humanly possible but win the game. Jimmy Garoppolo drove him down the field for the game-winning drive. The only problem was he left 40 seconds on the clock. And Aaron Rodgers gets him downfield, gets him in position for a field goal, and they make the game-winning field goal. So you looked about as good as you could look in losing. Flip side to that, Seattle lost to an 0-2 Minnesota team who gashed them on the ground without their key running back. So how are they going to stop the San Francisco offense? Well, they're not. They're both going to score points in this game, but Seattle's going to score more. And the difference in this game is going to be Russell Wilson, and it's going to be Russell Wilson beating them with both his arm and his feet. Russell Wilson will tuck the ball and run in this game several times, and that's just something that the 49er defense is not going to be able to account for, and it's going to be the difference in this game. And without that strong running game of the 49ers with the injuries, they're going to have Jimmy Garoppolo do too much. And that's when bad things happen to this offense. I like Seattle in this one, and I'll give you a little stat here. This is a league-wide stat in the NFL. Over the last 5 seasons, if you blindly went against favorites that were -2 or more in the turnover department the week before, 97-54 against the spread. That's a 64% angle. That tells you fade San Francisco this week. They were -2 in turnovers last night, and they are the favorite. I'm ready for your cross-examination.
No cross-examination. We're running out of time, but I want to say one thing quick, Marco. You mentioned at the top of that Seattle San Fran segment, you like to play on teams that lost but looked good. No.
That's not what I said.
Play against teams.
I like to play against those teams.
Got it. It's funny because one of my angles, and I spoke about this on the presidential address with Arizona, is I love to play on teams that won but looked bad, like the Arizona game from 2 weeks ago. Anyway, dude, you're the man. Thanks for joining us. Guys, you can check him out on Bet On It, the most watched show we have. You can also check him out on Bet On It College Football, the second most watched show we have. And, of course, you can find him anywhere they sell wings. Marco D'Angelo, everybody. Get out of here. We got to take a quick break. Teddy's big game breakdown. Bryan Leonard, daily presidential address. If we get to 100 likes, which we're not close to yet, we'll be back in 15.
Why is our 269 October All Access special one of our best deals ever? Let us count the ways. 5 college football Saturdays, 5 NFL Sundays, full month of MLB playoffs, NHL starts October 12th, NBA season starts October 19th, plus any other sport your favorite handicap releases, all for under $9 a day. As an added bonus, sign up early and get the rest of September included for free.
time for today's big game breakdown, and we got to talk some MLB for Monday. What's for dinner? Let's go out to the West Coast tonight and take a look at the Oakland A's at the Seattle Mariners, a game that could have implications for the wild card race. These two teams still battling right now. Looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen, I'm seeing Seattle in the minus 115 range. There are some minus 120s out there. Total sitting at 8.5. And this is a Mariners team. All they've done is make me money down the stretch. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. My clients cashed 4 winners with Seattle last week as they beat up on the A's and Angels in their final road trip of the season. Starter Chris Flexen is a prime example, like Seattle, as a team that's a hurler that's been a really undervalued commodity. He's allowed 3 runs or less in 9 of his last 10 starts. He's eating up innings in the process, but his advanced metric numbers don't blow you away. So he never gets respect in the markets. Behind Flexen, Seattle's bullpen have been nothing short of spectacular in recent weeks, a huge part of their late season surge. Oakland, positive weekend, beating up on Houston, but there's a big but. They lost Elvis Andrus, huge injury, both offensively and defensively, for that team. We've got a hurler today in Cole Irvin on the hill. Irvin's been roughed up in just about every road start he's had since the All-Star break. 22 runs and 24 innings of work over his last 5 road outings. He has 3 starts against Seattle. All have been short, and that's bad considering Oakland's shaky bullpen of late. And it's not like the A's are tearing the cover off the ball with their bats. They've been held to 3 runs or less 6 times in their last 9 ball games. I think the price is cheap. Mariners have made me money. I expect them to make me more money. Seattle is the undervalued commodity here. Give me the Mariners, minus 115. There's your big game breakdown. And note, this is my $9 Monday play. Don't spend $9 to get it. I just gave it to you for nothing. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
There you go. Anybody who was about to spend $9 on Teddy, head over to WagerTalk and spend it on me. Or Bryan Leonard. And Bryan Leonard, I mean, Bry, baby. I love having you on this show, dude. You're always so happy, full of info. I just want to tell everyone right off the bat, you know, we had a guy come in the chat room at the beginning, and he mentioned all the 5% plays lost. No, they didn't. You're talking shit. And we hear it from time to time. Guys, Marco is on a 7-1, 5% run since mid-July. I am literally 65% in 5% plays in the last 18 months. Dave Koken is on like an 11-1, 5% run. Teddy, what is your 5% run?
Overall, it's 12-3, 80%,
Yeah.
with the NFL dating back to last year is now 13-3, which is 81%. So they've been pretty good.
Yeah.
And Brian's been pretty good too.
Well, and that's the point, dude. Brian is on. He's on a 27-12, 5% run. So, guys, these 5% plays, I mean, I'm thinking they're pretty damn impressive. Brian, you got one up for tonight, right?
I do. I've got one up for tonight, and I've also put one up for Saturday. You can get both of them, $9 each. And I'd like to once again thank my friend Marco D'Angelo to cut down on my time on this show by continually talking. It's just like having lunch with Marco. It's just like, good thing he pays, because all he does is talk the entire time around.
Yeah, well, you know, and talking with chicken wings in his mouth. Anyway, dude, we got to get to it because you're right. But with that said, Bry, we always put you on the same day as Marco because it takes Marco 10 minutes to make a point that you would require 30 seconds to make. Yeah, that's true. Let's go. Michigan +1 over Wisconsin. We have no time. I'm not setting it up. I hand the mic to you.
Michigan's a team right now. They went into that game against Rutgers. They were cruising in the first half. And then they get to the second half, and the quarterback gets hit hard. Should have been a targeting foul. And since that time, he was a little bit struggling offensively. Rutgers comes back. I think we get a healthy quarterback here. I like the Michigan side. Wisconsin, 0-7. The last 7 games against top 10 opponents. 9-9 overall. Their last 18 games overall. I had Wisconsin last week as a 5%. It was a terrible play. Didn't deserve it. and we bounce back tonight.
So I got to ask you, Bri. The concept is buy low, sell high. Here's Michigan, 4-0, lots of hype. They've had a rough time at Camp Randall Stadium. I remember having a big play on Michigan there a couple years ago, and they got absolutely road graded by the Badgers in that ball. It was over early. And here's a Wisconsin team that just got embarrassed, national TV loss, a loss that the final score was far worse than the game was. It's a 10. They had a 13-10 lead in that game, didn't they? In the fourth, or they were not. Whatever, 10-10 in the fourth quarter, and I'm trying to remember who kicked the field goal. But
13-10 lead in the third.
It was 10-10 in the fourth.
Yeah.
So no, you're wrong, Prez.
Yeah.
But anyhow, Brian, given the buy low, sell high concept, isn't this a cheap price with Wisconsin?
I don't think so. You take a look at Michigan. Michigan almost lost that game to Rutgers. They were winning that game. They were cruising. And all you're hearing out of the locker room from Michigan is they shouldn't have let them back in the game. And you take a look at the quarterbacks. Michigan's quarterback hasn't been great so far this year, but they do have a quality backup. There is no backup for Mertz. They don't have anybody that's going to take his place. And he is one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks that I have seen. And I can't believe I used them last week. They did not deserve to be in that game. And that's against a Notre Dame team who I continue to think is overrated and will make money on the rest of the season going against the Irish.
Yeah, Bri, I was on Wisconsin also in that game. And one of the things, one of my stupid rules, and it makes no logical sense, is if I'm on Wisconsin or a team and they lose, I can't play against them the next week. Like I never can get that zigzag right. So Teddy, you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. When you lose backing a team 1 week and then you're like, I hate this team, I'm going to bet against them. And the next week is when they show up. And that's it.
Right.
That's
exactly.
Every bit is frustrating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm scared about this Wisconsin-Michigan game. Brian Marshall -10 against MTS. How you handicapping this one?
Yeah, Middle Tennessee State was a team that gave us a push midweek last week, and that was okay, but they were completely outplayed in that game. And Marshall was a game that covered the spread, and they were completely outplayed in that game. Appalachian State was clearly the better team than Marshall was, and if the running back doesn't make the smart decision of falling down, they cover that spread. I lost that. I had a bet the other way. I got no problem losing when the players make the right decisions. It was a bad selection, and I had a bad Saturday college football. Luckily, I bounced back 3-0 yesterday in the NFL, so
nice.
Feeling pretty good today. But this Marshall team is a lot better than what they've shown. They could actually be 4-0, although, like I said, I didn't think they deserved that win last week. But they're 2-2, and this is a team they can beat up on is Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee just hasn't shown me anything thus far this season. Marshall laying 10. We talked about. I just want to touch on the line moves. When we had these games, we send them out the night before, and it's interesting that what the line does. I sent out Michigan at +1. They're now -1. This game has stayed the same. The Marshall's -10. The next game I send out that we're going to talk about in a minute, that line moved. So I'm feeling pretty good about these moves. The only people betting these games early in the week are the wise guys. I'm on the wise guys side on at least 2 of the 3. This one hasn't had any action. But I don't like this Middle Tennessee State team. Marshall's a much better team, better coached. I like Marshall in this game. They're finally playing a team that they can beat up on.
Well, the reason Marshall is 2-2 this year and not 4-0 is because their defense hasn't been able to get stops. And when I'm laying doubles, a lot of times I want to be sure that my defense can get stops. Is that a concern for you here, or do you think Marshall's offense is just so overpowering that they can hang 50 on Middle Tennessee State, and then the Blue Raiders have a hard time matching points with them for 4 quarters?
A little of both. Marshall, I believe, has been outscored the last 2 weeks, 31-0 in the fourth quarter. Maybe it's a conditioning thing. I don't know. But they played teams that are quality teams. I just don't think the Middle Tennessee State is on that level. Middle Tennessee has beaten them 2 out of the last 3 years also. So Marshall's going to take this game seriously. And this is a team that's better than their 2-2 record.
Calling Marco and Rob Vino, please, if you have a moment, just watch this clip. Bryan Leonard in 4 minutes took apart 2 games, gave out picks, answered questions, and smiled along the way for freaking minutes. Bryce, Seattle, San Fran. Marco likes Seattle. You and I like the same play here. What? Because you did send it earlier, and I know what you're going to talk about, and we are on the same page, brother. Go ahead.
I feel like I'm the closer that comes in and throws nothing but strikes and gets the hell out of there instead of walking 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah, baby. Marco's like the Mitch Williams of closing. He always gets it done, but man, does it take a long time.
It sure does.
That's an old reference right there, man. Takes
him a long time to eat too, but that's a different point. Yeah, it's a situation for me where we saw last night that San Francisco's a team that, I don't know if I agree with you that they're one of the lowest 2 teams in that division. They've got a lot of injuries. And I've been pretty impressed by San Francisco being able to play through these injuries. Last night, leaving 37 seconds on the clock for Green Bay and one of the best quarterbacks in history. Bad decision. But this San Francisco team moved the ball pretty well against the Packers yesterday, even though the Packers put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Seattle's got a quarterback that can beat you in more than one way. They've done that all season long. That defense for Seattle's got some problems. Seattle wants to play up-tempo. They haven't been able to as much as of late. I think this game goes over the total. I sent it over at 51.5. It's up to 52.5. I see this probably hitting 54 by the time this game goes off. So if you like the over in this game, play it now. I think it's going to be a shootout.
So I was reading multiple narratives after last night's game saying San Fran has to make the quarterback change now. Look at how well all the other – I'm joking and saying look at how well all the other rookie quarterbacks are doing. And meanwhile, Jimmy G drives them down the field for the game-winning touchdown. And yet there's 37 seconds on the clock. They don't win the game. And after the game, the fingers are getting pointed on Jimmy G. What do you think of this 49ers offense with Garoppolo right now?
I take Garoppolo in a minute over the rookie. I mean, it's the coaching staff knows what's going on. The writers and the fans don't know what's going on. Obviously, Jimmy G is a lot better in the coaching room and everything than a lot of people think. I think he's a quality quarterback. I mean, he's not great, but when you have a Super Bowl type of team, you want a great quarterback. He's not there yet, but he is a quality quarterback. And it was not the offense that lost that game last night. It was the defense. Letting Aaron Rodgers pick him apart all night long. It's one of those things. I don't pay a lot of attention to the people that aren't involved with the team, a lot of that talk. So I don't care about it. I just handicap the players that are on the field. And we saw what happened in Chicago. Everybody talked about, now they get rid of the worst quarterback and they bring in. No. The Cleveland spent more time in the backfield of the Chicago Bears than the running backs did yesterday. It's going to take time. You've got a rookie quarterback going against a very good rushing Cleveland defense yesterday. The same thing would happen if they brought the rookie or the second-year player in for San Francisco. Give them some packages. Give them some chances to get into the games. I'm not concerned about the San Francisco offense. Injuries are what I'm concerned about for San Francisco.
Bryan Leonard, everybody. And Bry, it was pointed out to me by my woman, Vivian, that she'd rather I sit on the bench and Jimmy G take over.
In your marriage, yes.
It just wanted to lay that out there. Like, I caught her with literal drool on one side of her mouth. Like, she's always like, anyway. Dude, thanks for joining us. 5% play up for Bryan tonight. $9 Mondays. He's got a 5% play up for Saturday. You can have both for $9 each. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Remember, Bryan is absolutely freaking rolling right now across all sports. Nice of you to join us, man. We'll see you next Monday. Guys, we made 100 likes. We only have a minute left. Let's go. Hey, everybody, it's me, Lawrence Presman. If you did not watch Wager Talk today and you're watching this on Twitter, make sure to check it out. Marco D'Angelo came on, took apart the Monday Night Football game, as well as a college football game, and Bryan Leonard, too, Looked at the Michigan-Wisconsin game and the Seattle-San Fran game, plus a couple of others along the way. Teddy's big game breakdown as well on tonight's Seattle Mariners game. So make sure to check that out. It is also $9 Mondays at WagerTalk.com. Anybody's play, only $9. Shout out to Bryan Leonard. He's got a 5% play up tonight, and he is absolutely rolling across the board right now. I have a college football play up for Thursday. It's $9. I also have a Monday night football play up as well, and it is only $9. Real quick, guys, I just want to talk about something that we should all do for fun. I know everybody, I'm not going to give out free picks. I just want to give you a betting strategy. We all love doing parlays. I hate doing parlays, but everybody loves doing parlays. It's their special thing, and it's a losing proposition. And if you do parlays on a regular basis, you're going to lose a lot of money. So why not every Monday take $20 and bet it on one game, straight wager, and roll it for 7 days and see if you can go 7-0. If you can win one bet every day, rolling $20, it's 20, 40, 80, 160, 320, 640, 1280. Obviously, there's juice in there, so I'm rounding those numbers up, but $20 turns into 1280, give or take. If you take that approach, and maybe that'll help you not do parlays in the future and still give you that rush that you need. That's it for me. That's it for the show. Thank you all for watching Wager Talk today. Teddy, I'm eating shawarma on Monday. I know it's normally Tuesday. What can you do? Get us out of here, bro.
That's going to wrap it for the Monday edition of Wager Talk Today. Stay tuned right here on the channel for the NFL opening line report. Drew Martin and myself at the top of the hour will be tipping off in just about 12 minutes. And, of course, we'll be back again on Wager Talk Today tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon for you back east. Between now and then, enjoy the games and good luck.
Why is our 269 October All Access Special one of our best deals ever? Let us count the ways. 5 college football Saturdays, 5 NFL Sundays, full month of MLB playoffs, NHL starts October 12th, NBA season starts October 19th, plus any other sport your favorite handicap releases, all for under $9 a day. As an added bonus, sign up early and get the rest of September included for free.